Yeah.
So we've got the ugly set now. So Davey, what was your ugly point?
Let me go check. I forget. Oh yeah, gorillas.
Yes.
Just because gorillas, like not like no. What else needs to be said? Just gorillas, like not the animal, of course, the Counter-Strike team.
No, Harambe, R.I.P.
Yeah, Harambe, ugly fuck. Anyways, yeah, just like, dude, I just don't get. I just like why. Just why? What even was this project? What even were they doing?
I like that headline though. Wait, because why is esports such a clown world? You know when the headline goes, Flusher leaves Gorillas. Wasn't it his team? Wait a minute, isn't it literally it? Yeah, didn't he make and decide the name of the team? What does that even mean? At that point in time, why doesn't it just say Gorillas shutting down? Like, why is it like Flusher leaves his own team? Like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, they just wanted to, go for it.
I just like don't even know what there is to even like fucking say about them. It's just like, it's one of those things where I forgot they existed until every now and then they would be in a qualifier. You'd be like, oh yeah, they lost again. Okay. Yeah. Well, and then wait 2 months. Oh look, they're another qualifier. Oh, last place again. That sucks. There was just nothing. I just don't understand how long did it even last for? It felt like it lasted for almost a year.
It was from according to the results, it was from April this year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So it's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you even, like, I don't know.
And they played, by the way, if you go on the Wikipedia, it's hilarious. They played loads of, like, qualifiers, but they just come in, like, fucking 17th in the qualifier. I know, exactly.
Yeah. Like, they were playing. They were grinding for all intents and purposes. Like, for all you can tell, they were grinding. Like, their coach is IMBT. Like, they were grinding. They were doing things. They just didn't qualify for a single thing. And then whenever they were at even, like, some small tier 3 LAN, they would just go out at, like, 5th, 6th. It was just like, what a waste. Just unbelievable. Especially because there's pieces on that team that could have been pieces in other teams. And I just don't know what the point of that whole thing was. It was just funny to me. I couldn't think of a good ugly. And I just saw that team name and I started laughing. I was like, that's an ugly right there.
It was like every time they experienced a bad upset or a bad game loss, they just changed a player out too. I think they lost. So I remember they lost to Mao's NXT 16-0, and I think I think JW just left, or was it JW? I think someone just left the team immediately after that, and I was like, okay, this Rollins dead.
Yes.
And that they kept on playing more and more, and yeah, every time they just face. I think what did they lose recently? Some other really bad loss to a team they shouldn't lose to. They lost to Lin Vision. They lost to Lin Vision. They lost to it. They actually they're so racist. They actually just lost to an Asian team and said, "I gotta hang it up at this point." If I'm losing to Asian teams, it's done for me here. So that's
lost to Savage with Twist, Plessin, Grux, Dizon, and Chazi. It's another big one. They did beat D13, the Mongolian team, 16-13, so that's good.
That would have actually ended someone else's career right
There's even an angle to this which actually would appropriately put in the ugly category, Davey, which is, if people don't know, Flusher is dead right in the center of that group of legendary pros that even if they are washed today, like even if I would be like on a desk and go, this guy's actually a bit washed, maybe win the odd clutch, but he's not going to put up numbers, he hasn't adapted in the modern day. The difference is the other players don't think that. Pro players still like sort of hang on to the glory days for people like Flusher. He's actually in the category where I'm not exaggerating. If he hadn't wanted to make a whole team or be a package, I think it was even intimated. There were teams out there that were interested. Like, I actually think he could have been in, by the way, like a phase type team. Like, those exactly the sorts of team. A G2, these are the sorts of teams that might have recruited him because, again, as I'm saying, he's in that category like Fallen, etc., where you just get a million extra chances because the players that are recruiting you sort of naively think you're going to roll back the years and just be how good you were when they used to be impressed and thought you were unplayable. So even though he's not really, like, you can see his game's fucking degraded massively, so especially online, by the way. Like, the joke is, and I know this sounds like a very simplistic point, but I think it's true. I genuinely think people like Flusher and JW had no chance in the online era because the joke is there's a million idiot kids doing exactly the dumbass shit that is actually genius when you do it online in a big game because no one would dare do it. But online, people are doing that all day long. It's like there was a round, if everyone remembers, at the Major that proved this. Do you remember at the Major there was a round where I'm trying to think who it was who did. I think off the top of my head it was a Gambit Furia game. There was a round where someone did something mad, like Furia tried to like walk crawl 4 people into a smoke on, like, I think Mirage in the connector or something, and just stay there and just hope that, like, you know, no one knows anything and just walks by. Like, that's the sort of dumbass shit that in a random online game you do, and if it works, you're like, haha, lol, can you believe we did that? Like, on LAN, nobody even tries that. Like, fair play to Fury that they even tried it. Like, on LAN, that's the thing you just throw out you don't even think that in your brain. That's not even in the equation. The difference is JW and Flusher would just do that stuff routinely, because they had sort of, like, they'd mastered sort of the fringes of the game and sort of the dead spots on the map where you don't expect someone to be into a push. So the problem I have is, I don't think he would have been good, but I actually think Flusher this year could have probably been on a real team and could have still been sort of in the mix, would have been considered, you know, like the veteran player you keep around. So I think he's also sort of tanked his own career, mate. Like who gives a fuck about these GORILLAZ players now? Remember all that hype when Sergey was going to the army of like, oh, fuck, oh, we lost the talent. Like, imagine if he was an OG with Lexi. No one even talks about him now. But I guarantee, dude, if I went to and polled a bunch of random players who don't watch, like, low-level CS, I bet some of them don't even know he came back from the army. I bet they think, like, oh, he's in that team now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't even know these players. Half those players have just been forgotten by history. It's sad.
Yeah, they absolutely tanked their stock. They tanked it with that one.
Unfortunately for Sergey, he was the opper for a lot of this lineup's history too. That's something that it just made no sense. You know, it's just one of those things that, oh, he's the opper for Flush's team, and yeah, this year actually he has more op kills than any other gun. So we saw how good he was with the rifle, and yet he just decides to try to do that. So I don't. Yeah, it's just super unfortunate, super ugly.
These guys lost to Galaxy Racer, Young Ninjas, Nordavind, Izako Bors, LDLC, Sangal, 100 PG, Navi Jr., Kova. Like, Jesus Christ, man. What is going on over there? Anyways, that's why they're my ugly, because that's pretty ugly as far as I'm concerned.
All I'll say is this: at least you actually did just say GORILLAZ as the ugly, because I also am such a piece of shit. I would actually have just made my ugly as Flusher, and then I would have said, I also don't like the way his career's gone. Because you have to understand, I'm a bit different than you guys. I was basically like born just to face this era of cancellation and survive it. I'm like some sort of I'm like Neo in that third Matrix movie that we've all deleted from our brains, where he's some sort of Christ Messiah figure, just going to the limits of spirituality and what's possible in the human race. But okay. In many ways, Flusher was the limits of what's possible with the human race. Some would say an evolutionary dead end, but I wouldn't say that at all. I don't
get back on the phone with his programmer for keeping
exactly
the Matrix thing.
We're gonna see how good that fourth Matrix is, and it's gonna just be Flusher making GORILLAZ again. It's just that's the GORILLAZ, actually, the fourth movie that's gonna come out. I have no hopes for that at all. Just saying.
Oh, and obviously the joke would be that they did say in the Matrix that you can't break the rules, but you can bend them. And let's face it, that is Flush's entire career in a nutshell, right? I mean, I would say he broke them, but again, that's just a speculation, pure rank speculation from someone who's a veteran and would literally testify that in court. No, I wouldn't really, of course. There'd be nothing to testify, is there? He got away with it. I just love the way, the story I'll never forget, by the way, because it's like the universe does have lazy script writers. You know the famous thing where the only way they caught Al Capone was his taxes? Do you remember that story last year where it was like Flusher didn't pay his taxes or something, like in Sweden, and that's like the only thing they caught him for? And it was like, God damn it, we had to get him in the end. Like, what is that shit? Like, why does that have to come like some clown world shout out of nowhere? Like, how is this real? How is it? It's like he cheated in every regard. He's like, cheated on my taxes as well. Fuck it. Like, what even is this? Why is C-SWAT so stupid? I don't know. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.